Yo, what is up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I hope y'all are doing well. Today we have on our hands the SH Figuarts Carnage from Venom, Let There Be Carnage, or you can say Venom 2. This figure is crazy. Like when we get into it, just how big and tall he is like out of this world to me. And it gives me kind of high hopes for some other lines in terms of scale, but the fact that they did this guy as well as they did him is crazy. There are a few things that they could have still done a little bit better, but the figure itself is just wow. I really love it, and I'm glad to have it now. But yeah, the box, you might not be able to see the whole thing. I don't have the biggest field of view, but you know, you can kind of get a good look at it here, and he's almost as tall as this box, so think about that. But yeah, we got the little decals here. Really nice, like that shine to it too. Definitely a box I'm keeping. Gonna have to find space for it, but yeah, I really love it. Let's get straight into taking him out, and yeah, I'll see you in a second. All right, so there he is out of the box, and he is really tall. Now, for the little space that I have when I do these reviews, you know, it's not as big as I'd like it to be, but I'm struggling to make sure he's in frame of the whole camera so we can see him. But let's take a look at all the accessories he does come with really quick, kind of get that out the way. And I have really high praise when talking about some of the accessories. I mean, it's not anything too crazy, but first, like, we could just talk about, for example, the tendrils. He comes with 4 of these. I think most of these are all the same size. There might be 2 of them that are actually different size. There we go. Yeah, they might be a little different in terms of size on some of them. But yeah, he comes with a total of 4 of these. And the really cool thing is they can fit any of the accessories, minus the head, of course, that he does come with. So that includes hands, all of the different tendril spikes, knives, and what have you. So that is what I really like about this. You know, and they, you know, go all on his back. He doesn't have a back plate like Venom does, which is a little unfortunate because Carnage is not always in tendril form, or doesn't always have the tendrils out for that matter. So a little bit, you know, annoying, I would say, if you don't want that in a photo, you know, for example, or if for the sake of it, even stop motion, you wouldn't want that in the back there, but it's there. We have to deal with it, unfortunately, but you know, in certain angles you kind of hide it. It just depends on how you do it, similar to that, for example. But yeah, so those are the 4 tendrils you get, fit everything you have. And I mean, just for an example, because I was having fun taking some pictures not that long ago with it, but just putting one of the hands on there, that's pretty cool. Like having extra hands that can just be holding up enemies and whatnot. And they support pretty good weight. Like, this is not loose at all. It can support some weight for sure. But yeah, so for the rest of his accessories, comes with 2 more hands. These ones are a little bit more open, ready to claw you down. And he comes with 2 fist hands as well. And I really love the detail and how well they went with the sculpt to give him that really bony, weird, real alien look. Like, it works really well. He comes with 3 different spikes, I guess you could say. He comes with this kind of long outward spike. He comes with I want to say, you ever seen like an obsidian knife, for example? Something similar to that, like a spearhead. And then he also comes with one that's got a little bit more spikes all across it. Very cool stuff. They didn't do the one where he was getting ready to fight Venom, and he had like 2 different, let's see if I can recreate it and maybe get the idea. I'll put it on the screen too as a picture or a GIF or something, but he's got like 2 tendrils out like that, or claws, and there's something in there. I don't know. You'll see a picture somewhere around here. But yeah, he comes with 2 extra knives, and then he comes with a curved scythe knife as well. Keep in mind, all of these are interchangeable, so you can put these on the hands or the tendrils. Works really freaking well. I am really happy about that. And lastly, this is his other head. I really like the tongue on this one too, and it's nice and, you know, bendy. I'm not sure if you really want to bend it too much, but I'm sure if you bend it enough, you could change the direction of it. If you look kind of closely, you could see the details with the teeth individually separated a little bit there. I wouldn't have minded if they did some jaw articulation on it though, but it's not asking for too much. But I mean, he is an expensive figure, so I you know, think that could have at least been done on the regular head here. Which also, quick detail, they, on the promo pictures, I believe there's like more black kind of painted here, kind of, you know, more meshed in to give it the overall look. Maybe across the rest of the body there's some better shading of black, but I think from the prototypes up to the actual release in hands, yeah, that's missing in terms of that extra black shading in some areas. But it might be pretty easily fixable if you want to do that. I'm not going to make that modification just because I'm decently satisfied with what I've got here for what I'm able to do and get out of the figure. But if I ever feel like I need to add that extra layer of black across him in certain areas, I probably will. But next, let's get into talking about this dude's articulation. And then lastly, we can of course show him compared to Venom and maybe some other characters, and end it there. So yeah, I'll be right back. All right, so we're back. Put the accessories away for a second. Quickly to talk about his articulation, starting from the head. Now he's got this thing in the back too, that can cover kind of this exposed neck joint here, where he can move his head back. And it's not the standard, you know, ball peg that they use, or double ball peg. Let me see if I can take it off without, there we go. It's similar to like a Hasbro figure, but it's, I think it works for these kind of figures just because they do get a lot of motion still, not just from the neck, but from the head as well, also having like nothing there. So it can go down pretty well. Man, this dude is too tall to be freaking on the camera like that. So yeah, he can go down pretty well. He can go up. Oh geez, we're gonna have to point the camera up just a tad there. He can go up pretty well. And as for side to side, you know, not that well because of the type of neck peg, but up down is probably the best you're gonna get there. And the neck, a little bit too. It's got some decent articulation. Now for the upper body, arms, and torso, he can, there we go. You gotta kind of mess with the joint there and get it in proper position, but he can do a full T-pose. You get the full extend on the arms. Of course, you got the bicep swivel. Swivel on the hands, up, down, left, right, depending on the joint or the direction of the peg. And as for the abs, let's see. Not using legs, that is about as far down as he's gonna get. And you don't want to stress it too much, but I don't know if there's anything that happened internally that he could get maybe a little bit more motion, but I would say that he's decently there. I mean, look, his arms are extending pretty long already. So, I mean, he can get a lot of you know, extra posing there, but yeah, pretty decent so far. On the Venom that I had, and I didn't do a review on it just because I kind of had gotten it before I started really getting back into, you know, reviews like that. The upper joint here is like automatically slanted for some reason, so I have to keep readjusting it. I don't notice that problem here with the Carnage though, so that's a good thing. But as for the legs, get them up all the way. You can do 90-degree angle and then some. And of course, you've got your ankle swivel, you've got your toe hinge, and really great like range of motion there. You know, left to right on the ankle. And of course, you got the thigh articulation there. And this part right here doesn't really seem to hinder too much. Let me put it back. yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good amount of range, almost a full split. So this figure is like pretty bonkers in terms of the quality, I feel, you know. Definitely could have done better with the shading, you know, kept that to what it was similar to in the prototypes, but you're still getting a really high quality like sculpt here, in my opinion. Just like looking at the legs and how well it's sculpted to match. You've got all these little mini tendrils going up the arms and the legs. You've got what looks to be, you know, just the indents in the legs to make it look more bony. And just the stature of the dude. He is tall. Like, I am struggling to make sure he's in full focus of the camera, you know, because I don't have that much space to like just show him like at a far distance without like all this extra stuff showing in the background. But yeah, dude is huge, and not only huge, but just really good with posing, really good extending with the legs, and the arms. They're long enough to really like reach out, you know, that butterfly joint. We can quickly talk about that too. There you go. That's pretty good, pretty decent, without me trying to like overdo it. It's pretty good. But yeah, so I mean, he's overall a really great figure. I would say if you can, pick him up. He's a general release in the US. I believe he's exclusive to the Japan sites, so you shouldn't have too much trouble getting him. I would be shocked to see him in stores though, because Barnes and Nobles usually has these type of figures, but I don't know if they'll have him in there. Local shops might, but they might upcharge him a little bit more. So best bet, trying just to go like stores like Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, stuff like that. Much better to do that instead of potentially importing it, because at that point, you know, it's a general release in the US. Unless you wanted it early, that was really it. But yeah, let's get into the next segment, and I'll probably just take a photo and we could talk about the different heights and just general differences between Venom, Carnage, and maybe one of the other Spider-Men. So catch you guys in a little bit. All right, so to finish this video off, as you can see, I've got all three, you know, symbiotes here. I've got a variation of Carnage here in the Mafex form, then I've got the SH Figuarts Venom there. And you can see already there's a pretty big difference when it comes to the height between all three of these. Now the Mafex is more in line to the comics, of course, which, you know, Carnage in the comics is very thin, skinny, and just he's one with the symbiote. In the movie, however, he is not. He still is separated between host and symbiote, which very different. I didn't like that change. But yeah, so that explains a little bit of the difference there. But in the movies, they seem to go bigger is better in terms of the symbiote, and that means they're stronger and whatnot. Because even at the end, you know, when he said power up and he started getting bigger for some reason, very weird. But you know, still glad Carnage got in the movie. But you can see the big difference between a comic version as well as the movie version. And I do wonder if they would have kept him to proper scale. Would he look good in this size, you know? Because, you know, as a bigger character compared to the Venom, I mean, he looks phenomenal. But I'm just wondering what he would also look like if he was in proper scale as he is in the comics. And of course, we didn't get no, you know, Cletus Cassidy head. So, you know, you're going to just be posing him as Carnage mostly. But yeah, you can see very well the difference also between the comic version of the symbiote as well as the movie version. There's a lot more black scoured around the body on the Carnage for the Mafex one, which I like more. But the SH Figuarts one kind of kept it in line with how Venom was, with the little squiggly lines, you know, across the whole body. And compared to Venom between Carnage, I mean, that height discrepancy is still pretty crazy to me, because Venom is already pretty tall. I don't think he's as tall as like Full Power Broly for the SH Figuarts from Dragon Ball, but Carnage is taller than Full Power Broly, which is crazy to me, because thinking about, you know, we're kind of bringing this back full circle. When I said I would want to see how this works out for other lines, for example, One Piece, they have characters that are hilariously tall. And I really do wonder how that works for somebody like, you know, Kaido, or in this case Yamato, for example. We've seen kind of the height comparisons between her and Luffy and Zoro and some other character, I think Sanji, that's what it was. So we kind of can get an idea of like Tamashii doing scale, I guess, justice, right? But I don't know, just the fact that they would do that for Carnage when they probably didn't have to, because it's not something that they're consistent at. It just really is a surprise to me. So I definitely enjoyed that about this figure for sure. And I think a lot of people will if they really enjoyed how he looked in the movie. So with that, I think I'm going to conclude it here. Thank you guys for watching. And I hope you guys enjoy the figure if you got him. If you're interested in getting him, I do think he is worth the money, but he is an expensive one. So take your time if you can to get him. There's always going to be more variations of these characters coming because Carnage is pretty popular. I could see him getting more figures down the line, you know, maybe not right away, but from places like Mafex, for example. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I will leave it there. There's a few photos I'll just kind of dump at the end if you guys want to watch that. And yeah, catch you guys in the next review, news video, or just meme video or something. Catch you guys later. Peace.